Hello again and welcome to From the Desk of. It is the April 2017 edition. I am Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey. And again this month we welcome the opportunity through Randolph Communications to get out in front of you good citizens and talk about the great things that are going on in our school system. Dr. Gainey, we're coming down the home stretch. We talked about that a little bit in our last interview. Before we get into some of the things that are going on, though, would maybe just want to mention that today we are at Northeastern Randolph Middle School. So why don't you share a little bit with our community about this fine school?
Well, Tim, we are at Northeastern Randolph Middle School, and Dana Albright Johnson's the principal. She's been here for 3 years. She's a veteran principal, and she's been a principal several places in our school system, and staff does a great job here. Great kids. Great academic environment, great extracurricular environment, about 580 students. So just a great school, beautiful facility, just like we continue to go from one facility to the other. And just another sign of the great work done by our commissioners and our Board of Education over the past years to make sure we have great facilities for our kids. So beautiful place and beautiful campus.
So we do again thank you, Northeastern Randolph Middle School, which we refer to as NERMS sometimes, but we are glad to be here and we thank you. Dr. Gainey, let's talk about some of the things that are coming up as we come down the stretch of the school year. There are a lot of events, end-of-year events that take place, one of which is the Teacher of the Year banquet. This year it'll be on May 4th. It's at Pinewood Country Club. Can you share a little bit about that event?
Well, Tim, Teacher of the Year event is a great event. Every school has a Teacher of the Year that is identified by the staff at the individual school, and then they compete for the Teacher of the Year award for the whole system. I can only imagine how honored a teacher would be to represent a whole school system as its Teacher of the Year for a particular school year. But same token, it just speaks, when you see that night, or when you come to that event that night, Tim, you're going to see a display of just the quality of our teachers throughout this system. And we do partner in that event with Asheboro City Schools. And so their Teacher of the Year will be named that night as well. But it's just a great celebration of the teaching profession. And always, I don't think we can ever go wrong with recognizing teachers for their great work. So that night, everybody will be recognized as far as the individual school's Teacher of the Year. And then we will end the night by recognizing one Teacher of the Year for the entire school system.
Okay. Another important and exciting end-of-year event is the retirement dinner that we do each year. And that will be May the 11th this year, and we recognize not only our retirees but our years of service employees. I think we start with at the 25-year level and go all the way up, I think, to 45. So again, it's a great way to showcase some very important people in our school system. Just talk a little bit about that event, if you would.
Well, the Teacher of the Year banquet is great, but the retirement banquet is equally great because I don't think you can go wrong with recognizing years of service and the efforts individuals have made to build a foundation for this school system. Any success this school system experiences now can be directly tied back to great work of employees many years back, including maybe some that have already retired. So I don't think you can live just completely in the moment with an organization as far as, okay, we're having success now and this is what it's all about. No, you've got to reach back and you need to be recognizing individuals for their years of service, and also when they leave you for retirement, you need to make sure you're saying thank you to them and showing your value and how much you cherish the amount of time they've given us, because teaching and working in a school system is a different profession. There is no profession like this one. There's a lot of people who want to talk about it and try to match it up with other types of professions, but there's no one like this. Teachers do this because they are drawn to working with individuals and trying to help children prepare for their futures. Principals do the same, and then you have many support staff members, as we've talked about this year, from our transportation staff to our child nutrition staff, our maintenance staff, technology staff, central service staff. Everybody's got a singular focus, which is on the future of children. And so to go back to what you asked about this event, we need to make sure we're saying thank you to people with regularity, and this is one way to do it at this event for when they're retiring from us or when they've reached certain milestones as far as years of experience.
Right. And you had another event in which we recognize important employees is our employee recognition ceremony. That's going to take place on May the 15th. That takes place just prior to the board meeting that will be that evening. But on that evening, we present a Distinguished Educator Award, an Outstanding Employee Award, and then we also have a category of what we call Special Honors. And if you would just allow me, I would like to share with our community some of the folks that we do recognize: our beginning Teachers of Excellence, Media Specialists of the Year, Transportation Employee of the Year, a Bus Driver of the Year, Excellence in Custodial Services Award, Maintenance Employee, Student Services Employee, Counselor of the Year, Outstanding School Nutrition Employee, Assistant Principal of the Year, Principal of the Year, and then we have a large group of what we call our Pride in RCSS PIN recipients that will also be acknowledged. So I know that's a lot of recognitions, but it is a big event, so I'll give you a chance to talk about that.
Well, Tim, you read all those different awards, and that really sums it up as far as what I think about a school system. If you think that only this group of employees can help you be successful, then you're missing it with an organization this size, particularly a school system. We need everybody. We did the Hidden Heroes earlier in the year, and we talked about staff members that maybe a lot of the public doesn't even know exist with our school system. They don't know how the buses roll and why they roll every day and who makes sure they roll, or that the air conditioning this time of year is being turned on from the heat system, or how do we go about serving all those lunches every day and breakfast every day at these schools. So you know, I love our teachers, I love our administrators, but I also love our transportation, maintenance staff, child nutrition staff, technology staff, central office staff, and we should be recognizing these individuals. And that event is almost a culmination of the whole year. We started the Star Employee Award this year, and it's been very exciting to see staff members, 2 from every school, be recognized at board meetings this year, like we do the Star 3 students. So this event just kind of is a culmination of what we are trying to do year round, which is make sure our staff members know that we appreciate them.
So again, we're here on the campus of Northeastern Randolph Middle School. We've moved from a classroom here into a hallway near the main entrance of the school. Dr. Gainey, let's talk about high school graduation. Believe it or not, it's right around the corner. It seemed like the school year just started. On May the 18th, Randolph Early College High School will be our first high school to have their graduation ceremony. That'll be taking place at the Setwick and Ashboro, and then our remaining 6 high schools will have their services on June the 9th. So can you give us the schedule and just talk a little bit about graduation day?
Well, graduation day, high school graduation day is to me a very special day, and I always enjoyed it as a high school principal. I always enjoyed seeing the students. Actually, you would see things at that event, and it's almost like they made that transition at that event to you know, life after school, and whether they were going to college or the workforce or the armed services or whatever their next path may be. But it's always exciting to see the students. I try to go to a high school graduation, at least one, if not multiple, but it's difficult with the size of this county to get to multiple ones unless you get them close together. We have several schools that are paired up because of locations. Trinity High School in Wheatmore. Trinity's at 6 o'clock, Wheatmore's at 8 o'clock, and there's obviously in that community you have some families that probably have relatives at both schools. Eastern and Providence Grove have paired up in the last 2 years, and Eastern's at 6 and Providence Grove is at 8. And again, in that community you have some families that have relatives at both schools, so try to work together there. Now Southwest High and Randleman High, they're both at 7 o'clock, and Southwest is larger than the other schools, so it really would be difficult to pair them with another school. And so, but it's a great night for our school system, great night for our kids and community. And I've always, high school graduation has just always been a very special event to me. And I just like to see the kids recognized, and like I say, you see them come in. And I can remember as a high school principal sitting on the stage, and it was almost like when they processed in, and they're standing there, when they went to sit down, it's almost like they realized as they sat down, this high school is just about over here, and I'm getting ready to make a big transition in life. And it's exciting to see what these children are going to do. Our teachers and principals have worked very hard with these children, as have their parents and surrounding community members. So it's going to be exciting to see the future as our kids continue to leave us from graduation and go out to whatever chosen path they have.
Dr. Gainey, something we try to do near the end of every school year is do an official recognition of our community partners. And that can be a bit of a broad term because it encompasses individual volunteers, it could encompass churches, businesses, but with 31 schools in our district, we have a lot of folks that support us, and we couldn't do what we do without them. So talk a little bit about our relationship with community partners.
Well, Tim, I must say this school system is different than any one I've been in. And there's nothing negative against the other school systems I've worked in, but I've never seen it like it is here. We have many different community partners, and I think we would be wrong not to recognize them. And so we do the advertisement at the end of every year. I think it's in May. We put it in the Courier Tribune, and we also display it on our webpage, and you send it out on social media as well. And I just think it's the right thing to do because, you know, we have partners who have different roles. Some will provide maybe help in funding. Some may provide help with some kind of supplies. And then we have others who just simply provide volunteer service, which is equally valuable. And we should not overlook any of them. And we should always make sure they know we value them. We should always say thank you to them. And then personally, as superintendent, I must say thank you to this school system and to this community, because I'll go to events and I'll sit in events and I feel like community partners help me all the time. They spend time talking to me. I walk away from events learning things about this school system and this community that I didn't know, and I just want people to know that I appreciate that. You know, sometimes they may have to tell me something that may not be completely positive, but it may be very helpful with our school system in the future as we try to continue to get better. So, you know, you have many different roles of partners, and I just think that all of them should be recognized, and I think that's something that our school system should do every year. And I'm pleased that we do it, and appreciate your hard work to get that ad together. Appreciate the Courier Tribune for working with us, because every year when it's printed, it catches my attention of how many different partners are lined up with each of the 31 schools, and it's very impressive.
So Dr. Gainey, we've talked a little bit about some things coming up at the end of the school year. Let's go ahead and move ahead into the summer months. At our most recent Board of Education meeting, there was a proposal for a summer academy. So will you share with us what that's all about?
Well, Tim, we had a summer academy last year for Math 1 for the high school students, giving them a chance to, ones who have not been successful in Math 1 at the high school level, to come back and try to recover credit for Math 1, which is a very important high school course, and help them build increase their foundation in math skills as they move on to Math 2 and Math 3 at the high school level. This year we're expanding that academy to include 8th grade math. And again, the idea is to help try to build a stronger foundation for these students as they start moving into the high school ranks as far as Math 1, Math 2, Math 3. What we'll do is we're going to have one planning day for teachers, and then 3 intense days of instruction, and then a day of testing again. So the students will get a chance again at the high school level Math 1 at the end of course test, which is a state test, and the 8th grade math students will get another opportunity to take the end of grade test, which is the state test for 8th grade math.
Right. Okay, so then to wrap up our interview today, there's any number of things that we could be talking about because again, there's so many things going on, but why don't I just open up the floor to you and give you an opportunity just to talk about some things to wrap up this school year, some things you're excited about, and just some general what's going on in the Randolph County School System.
Well, we've had a good run through the winter. Had very little winter weather to interfere with our schedule. It was that first weekend in January we came back, and we had 1 week, and then we had the snow, and then so it's been a long run. We had a teacher work day on Friday, which was the 31st of March, and now we've have this week, and we'll be on spring break. Give the kids and the staff a little bit of a break. Done a great job, the staff has, as far as keeping the kids in routine and really focusing in on instruction. We've battled the flu, has hit us pretty strong like other school systems in this state this year, but we've come through that, and just want to say a big thank you to the teachers and principals for their hard work. We are headed towards what I think is sometimes call it celebration season, between all the events you talked about and the award ceremonies at schools and graduations at the high schools. So that's always exciting for the children and the staff members and the families. and then larger families that come into town, particularly for high school graduations. So just looking, we're waiting on some information from the legislature on budget decisions they're making for next year. Always going to hope for the best on that, and as they continue to work through difficult issues in Raleigh, but also want to make sure we're focused on what needs to be our focus, which is preparing students for successful futures. So, you know, as we get towards closing the school year down, then we're really continuing to watch as we work on budget items for the next year. We're beginning to work on teacher allotments for next year. And sometimes people don't understand this because they wouldn't see it if they were not working in the school system, and they may not see it depending on their role. But really, when we get to second semester, there's a lot of things we're doing to finish out the current school year strong in a positive manner. But we're also working really hard and looking at resources and all for the next year, because you just can't wait till the July or August to start thinking about resources for the next school year. So very excited about where we're going as a school system, and very excited about what happens from now to the end of this school year. Been another successful year, and excited to see how we finish it. And I know we'll finish strong because we have great staff, we have great kids, and we have great parents behind this school system. And those three groups are always going to lead to a strong and successful future and finish.
Well, Dr. Gainey, thank you. And thank you to Principal Dana Johnson and her great staff here at Northeastern Randolph Middle School. We're grateful that they allowed us to be here today. Also, thank you to Randolph Communications each month for allowing us to be a part of From the Desk Of series. And we thank all of you in the community, and we look forward to seeing you again in May.